All right, everybody. Hey, welcome to another episode of Sam Spade Tech. Hey, mic check, mic check. I always got to check the mic because I can't tell you how many times I've done my entire intro and the microphone wasn't working. Thanks, Windows. Yet another awesome feature of Windows. Every time it does an update, it cuts my mic and I have to go into OBS and relink it. Don't know why it does it. It just does it. So, happy Wednesday, everybody. Welcome to the stream. I thought today it would be fun because I've always been fascinated with computers and tech, obviously, but I thought it would be fun to watch a video last night about how microprocessors are constructed, and it was only like 2 minutes in and I was just like, what like, you gotta be kidding me. Like, it's seriously, it's either black magic or crazy alien technology that was gifted to us by the gods. I don't know. See, and I understand, like, the early days of computers. I watched a couple of videos. So, like, you know, the Apple II and here, let me pull this up real quick. So, like, you know, the old Apple II and Commodore 64. Like, I understand those, like, microprocessor chips, right? Like, it's just 16 bits, so it's like 16 diodes in there, or transistors, in a microchip, right? So, like, microchip, right? So, like these I understand, like, it's just a small chip. It's got like a couple processors in there, maybe 16, 32, so that's where you get the 32 bits, right? But when you start getting into microprocessors, like how on earth did we come up with this? Because it is just mind-boggling that we are able to do this. So that's what we're gonna watch. We're gonna watch that today and react to it. I think it'll be a lot of fun because, like, my mind was already blown last night just watching like 5 minutes of it. I might have to put my headphones in just because I don't know how the sound is gonna be reacting. So, because I do have my speakers on, but I don't know how the sound is going to be feedback wise. So we're just going to go ahead and put our headphones in. But how's everybody doing today? Hey, oh, also, yeah, little update. I did manage to sell like a ton of stuff on eBay, right? Hang on. Wait one. Game on. Here we go. So, where is my selling overview? Here we go. So, in the last 90 days, I've made $435. Now, that's a little deceptive, right? Because this is net, I think. Well, it says net total. So that's not including, yeah, it excludes any refunded, canceled, unpaid orders. It's like all the money that came in, not minus any shipping fees, any eBay fees, any taxes, all that stuff that they took out, right? So it's not a completely accurate total. Plus, it doesn't take into account my cost of goods, right? Because I purchased these laptops like secondhand. What up, Batrix? How you doing? Welcome in. Let me see. So, yeah. So I woke up like 2 days ago. This one sold, right? But for whatever reason, so literally right after I shipped it, I get an email from eBay saying, hey, whoever bought this, their account doesn't exist on eBay anymore. But the payment went through, so I don't understand. And normally, like, I am leery about people with zero feedback, but I didn't notice it before I shipped it, right? Yeah, so see, I made 30, but then you've got transaction fees. Can you guys see that okay? You got transaction fee, that's eBay's fee, other fees, that's weird. Other fees is a positive, and then transaction fee, whatever. Shipping, so my shipping label. So really, I only made 22. That's why that 400 is like deceptive, because that's like gross, even though it says net. Like, I don't know. It's more gross. Anywho, yeah. So I don't know what the deal is here, and then. Literally, it was like an hour after I put it into the post office. Like, I dropped it off at the post office, and an hour later, I get a message from eBay saying, hey, this person is no longer registered on eBay, so don't ship it. So I went back to the post office. They gave me a phone. It was this whole annoying process. They gave me a phone number to call. I call them, they tell me, oh, you can do it online. Why didn't that other guy tell me that? Whatever. So I go online, I get to the process of do like a package intercept, and freaking, they're like, oh, you got to sign in. Oh, hi. Hi, honey. Hi. They're like, yo, you got to sign in. So then I sign in, find out both of my USPS accounts are no good. And then, what do you call it? So I had to create a new account. Long story short, this one item, hopefully it gets there. The payment went through, so I don't know what the story is there. I don't know. Anyway, I sold one of my webcams also. Hi, cat. I sold one of my webcams this morning. That was fun. Here's all my orders. So I sold the webcam. I sold this laptop. I sold this laptop. This one, I kind of broke even on. Didn't make any money, but I did make a couple videos. We had fun on the live stream with this one. I'll probably buy another one. This was getting the Chromebook to accept Windows 11. So I was able to put Windows 11 on a Chromebook. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. This one I put kernel OS on and upgraded the RAM. That was a lot of fun. This one, I don't know. I don't know what the story is. We'll find out about that one later. This one was a win. This was a Lenovo hybrid USB dock. That one was pretty cool. Made a bunch of money on this one because I think I got two of them for like $30. So I don't know. I probably made like $20 on each of these except for this one. This one I made like $7. Not bad. Not bad. What is happening? Why did my camera switch? That was weird. Was that your intro? What happened? Am I dropping frames? That was weird. What was that? Who's switching scenes? I don't have my headphones in. The chat's not coming up if... Let me see. Hello. I didn't see your chat come in if you're over on Kick, but it is working. So, hello. And Lumia is... Were you on kick? I don't know what just happened. That was weird. Yeah. Oh, you did a twerk and it did not happen. Is that what happened? No? I see a twerk. Did it not work? What happened? Yeah, it is. Why is it not working? That's weird. Wonder... Hey, Lumia, why aren't you working? Why aren't you twerking? It's always something, dude.
One eternity later.
All right, that one's working. It's always something, dude. Hang on. Let me go to my commands. All commands? Hang on. Chat commands. Cooldown. User lists. Chatbot commands.
I'll be back.
That one works. Twerk's not working. Only thing I can imagine is the file got moved. Let me check. Someone moving my files around. No. Assets. Alert gifts. Oops. It's right there. That's weird. Huh. Yeah, it's not working. Anywho. Let's see if this one's working. No, that one's not working either. Son of a biscuit.
He's clear.
That's really weird. Well, I guess I'll have to relink all these, which is weird. I don't know why it's doing this. Anywho, no commands today, guys. So let's see here. What were we talking about? Oh yeah. So anyway, we got this one. Sold these speakers. Pretty much, yeah, this was the best one here because I got 3 laptops for like 50 bucks, and this was just the motherboard out of one of them, and I sold it for 60 bucks. This was the speakers that were out of it, sold it for 10 bucks. Hey! I don't know. See, the alerts are working. How you doing? Hey, Azaria. Dude, I swear to you, Azaria, every single time I stream, something goes wrong. Every single time, like without fail, there's always something that either doesn't work, something's glitching out, something's wigging out. Like everything should work the same every single time. I haven't moved any files, I haven't done anything, so it's like, why is it not working? right? Don't know why it's not working. But so I may have to reorganize some of the files and just like put them all in one folder, because I feel like it's like searching around for all these things. So it's a kick thing, then or orbs thing, or OBS. Oh, I thought it said orbs. Yeah, it's either kick or OBS. Usually, no, this one is actually Lumia. I have a lot of problems with Lumia Stream. But yeah, so like I was saying, guys, this was the best deal, right? Was this one laptop that I basically made over $100 off of just the parts of this laptop. This was the palm rest. So just the palm rest and the motherboard, I split them up and made $100. Yeah, it's a great program, but it's very buggy. It's very buggy, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And I haven't changed anything, so it's like, it should work. I'm gonna close it and reopen it. Sometimes that is the easiest solution. Sometimes that's just the easiest solution. It does have a update too, so that might be why. Yeah, bug fixes. Oh, fixed overlay alerts, fixed Twitch Git. Yeah, well, that could be the problem. Let's find out. Ready? Okay, so I unloaded it. Nope, now my freaking buttons aren't.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Okay, that one works. You know what it might be? I think it's anything. Well, no, because this. So these are uploaded to the web, I think. But the other ones are local on my computer.
Emotional damage.
Snake, are you okay? Snake? Snake?
Yeah, so I think that might be what's going on. The ones I uploaded to the Lumia are working, but the ones that are local don't seem to be working. You would think it would be the opposite, but whatever. Anyway, how you doing, Azaria? Yeah, I was just going over my eBay stuff, but today I was going to watch, we're going to react to a video, rather. Oh, that's the other thing. So I've got the last laptop. Hang on. The last two laptops. I got two laptops left. This one, I was surprised. This is an old HP Mini from 2010, and it's got a ton of views and 8 people watching. So I actually increased the price. I accepted an offer from somebody, but they haven't paid yet. However, I may swap out the hard drive. Ooh, there she, hey, she's back. Oh yeah, cold. Has it been really cold up there? And you're in, where are you in? You're in London? No, I know, but since I closed Lumia and opened it back up, it played your entrance again. But that did not fix my problem. Oh, South Africa. Okay, I'm sorry. I know, because I get a lot of people from South Africa, and then I get a lot of people from Britain. Yeah, but normally it will only play it when you come in one time, and then, but since I closed it, Anybody who had an entrance, it just resets the clock, so to speak. But yeah, so this is one of the last laptops that I got left. And then I saw this guy he's selling the hard drive out of the laptop. So it's Windows 10 32-bit ready to go. It's not activated, so it doesn't have a Windows key on it necessarily. But so that's smart. So I might do that because I have another laptop, I have another laptop hard drive. It's like 700 gigabytes. So it will increase the value of this laptop, and then I can sell the laptop hard drive with it separate, just like this guy's doing. So it's for this particular laptop. You know, I can do what this guy's doing, which is pretty smart. Did I? I'm sorry. I was only on there for like a couple minutes. I didn't see you on there. I'm sorry, honey. I did not do it on purpose. I can tell you that much. And with the rugrat running around here, he tends to distract the out of me. So like, yeah, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry, honey. Yeah, I didn't even see that. I'm so sorry. But didn't do it on purpose. Did not do it on purpose. I probably got distracted by freaking Cooper, didn't see it, and then came back and just, yeah, totally missed it. And I've been out of the loop on all that. But I did make a video for her because she's got her Fortnite, but she has a widescreen like me, but she squishes it in to and her screen looks all stretched. So I made her a video to help her out because, and I'll show you here. So you can see this is my widescreen, and I actually have my vertical scenes over here on OBS, and I've got a little extra space over here. So that's how I do it, right? I just crop out the widescreen, and then I've got a handy little application that when you hold shift, it'll just snap the window and like lock it in, right? Just locks it in, which it looks like it's off a little bit. I might need to adjust that. Let me see. So it's this handy application called Fancy Zones. Get it? Cancel. Edit zones. Cancel. This is the one I want. Yeah, so it was messed up. Not a biggie, because just snaps it right to it. What'd you say? Aw. Yeah, I haven't been in there either. But like I said, she like stretches her resolution. So I sent her a video about it to fix that problem. Yeah, so I might do like what this guy is doing with the hard drive on it. So we might do that later today. But for right now, I'm just gonna go through the rest of my eBay stuff, and then we're gonna react to the microprocessor black magic, because it is wild, guys. There we go. And we're back. So I also got a bunch of RAM for sale. So this laptop's for sale if anybody wants this. It's a cool little laptop. Came out in 2010, right? And it was like, they called them netbooks, and it's like a mini laptop. It only had 2 gigs of RAM and a 230 gig hard drive. I was messing around with Linux on it for a little bit. But then I installed Windows 64 on it. Even though it's a 64-bit processor, it did not like it at all. I put Windows 10 64-bit on it. It did not like it. So I put 32-bit Windows on it, and it ran a lot better. Yes. Yeah, this is one of the tiny ones. The other one was a Chromebook that I installed Windows 11 on. So it is a different one. I sold the Chromebook. I sold one of my other laptops. I'm probably gonna work on this one again, put the 700 gig hard drive in here, and then reinstall 32-bit Windows on it. Because yeah, even though it's a it said it was a 64-bit processor, because see right here, it says 32-bit operating system with an x64 based processor. When I tried to install Windows 10 64-bit on it, it was running like absolute ass. So the 32-bit worked a lot better on this one. And we got all the drivers installed. So like I said, I might do that. Increase the hard drive capacity and add a little bit of extra value to it. And yeah, I just bumped it up to $50 because there's so much interest in it, which I was surprised about. Because it's from 2010. Yeah, you can buy an external number pad, I think. But let's see. So I got the RAM. Wait, I want the active. Selling active. Okay. And then I got this HP docking station, which is pretty cool. I would keep it, but I don't have a charger for it. But it's pretty cool. It's got all sorts of doodads. It's got 2 high-speed USBs, dual monitor. You could do either HDMI or DPI, and then 2 more high-speed USB. So 4 USBs, dual screen, Ethernet, and I think it has one more. Yeah, it's got a port up in the front. There's a port right here up in the front, but I don't have the power cord for it. It didn't come with the power cord. So, and I might reduce the price or try and find a power cord for it. But then the last laptop, and then just some other doodads that honestly don't have a lot of views. So I'll probably just end up pitching these, because if there's not a lot of interest, like, you know, this one has 0 views. I don't know why. I gotta rework something on it. But I guess just not a lot of interest in that. And then we got this HP laptop. This is actually a pretty nice laptop, but the battery just died on it, so I gotta get a new battery for it. It's 17-inch. Do I have a girlfriend? I do have a girlfriend. Do you have girlfriend? You have girlfriend? Do you have girlfriend? Do you have a girlfriend? The old CD drive.
Whoa!
Make it nasty, make it nasty. Drop it on the bitch, make it nasty, make it nasty, make it nasty. Pop it on the bitch, make it nasty.
Mr. Nasty in the house. What up? Hey, that lucky lady. Look out. Dropping champagne. Popping bottles. Popping on the bit. Make it nasty. How you doing, Mr. Nasty? Ooh. Right down. What up, cowboy? It's Cowboy Curtis himself. Radom. Mr. Nasty and Radom. Popping in at the same time. Little Cowboy Curtis. What's up? What's up? Just going through some of my eBay items that I got for sale. This is a pretty nice laptop. It's a 17-inch. 17-inch. That's what she said. It's pretty nice. a 17-inch screen on this mother. Decent keyboard, trackpad, CD drive. Remember those? Remember those? Yeah. HDMI, Ethernet, all the doodads. Does it have high speed? Ooh, there she is. Cat's here. Hi, Cat. Do you have a girlfriend? You have girlfriend? You have girlfriend? What you been up to, Radam? Mr. Nasty? Cat? What's everybody up to? Let's go. Yeah, it says I got 3 people over on the YouTube, but I feel like I got more than that. I don't know, because I'm streaming vertical and I'm streaming horizontal. And we haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet. Do you have girlfriend? Working like cray cray. Is it? Oh, you're in Nebraska? Oklahoma? Is it cold there? Is it Nebraska or Oklahoma? Yeah, twerk's not working. Twerk is not twerking. I don't know why. I don't know why. I haven't figured it out yet. Few of those commands are just not working today. I think it's Lumia. Some of them are working, some of them are not. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to figure out why. It could be the update. There was an update out, but I don't know. But yeah, Mr. Nasty, you still with us, bud? You got pickleball today? No pickleballs on Wednesdays. I remember you saying that. Something. Where's my... So yeah, no pickleball today. That's right, because it's Wednesday. Oh yeah, that's the thing about this one. The do you have girlfriend? Do you have girlfriend? Mr. Nancy, you have girlfriend? You girlfriend? Somebody dismantled this entire laptop to replace the RAM, and they only put an extra 2 gigs in here. Oh, we might hop on Fortnite. Let's go. Yeah, I haven't played Fortnite. Well, I played the other day. I've just been jumping on to like do the no girlfriend. Oh, damn. Really? That's a shame. Damn. Make it nasty. Well, does she have girlfriend? Do you have girlfriend? Yeah, we need a video for that one. Now I'll figure out why they're not playing. Some of them are playing. We got this one.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
That one's working. You can RoboCop them hoes. Does she have girlfriend, Mr. Nancy? She have girlfriend? Yeah, so someone dismantled this freaking laptop to get to the RAM because HP in their infinite wisdom decided to not put a little fucking door right here, because the RAM is literally like right here. The RAM is like literally right here somewhere. It's like right there, but you can't get to it without taking the entire computer apart. Hey, it's Master H1P. What up, Master H1P? Welcome in. Welcome to the show, Master... Is it Master Hip? Maybe it's Master Hip.
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
RoboCop. Love that movie. Haven't watched that one in a while. But yeah, so the RAM sits like right here, but you literally have to dismantle this whole thing. And so now it's got 6 gigs of RAM. However, RoboCop them hoes. Listen. or Robocock. Ooh, Robocock. Zarya, Jesus. Robocock. If they don't got girlfriend but have portable wieners. Oh my God, Azaria. What? That's funny. That's funny right there. Making me tear up a little bit. So listen, don't mix your RAM, because this has, so they dismantled the whole thing to install either a 4 gig stick or 2 gig stick. I'm not sure which one, but it's mixed matched RAM, so they don't jive together. And Windows only says it can use 5 gigs of RAM. So you did all that to only increase your RAM by 1 gig, and like, this thing takes 16 gigs. You're perfectly fine. You're in the right place. You're in the right place. Let's see if this one works.
I don't like them putting chemicals in the water that turn the friggin' frogs gay. Do you understand that? Turn the friggin' frogs gay. Serious crap, gay. Frogs, friggin' frogs. It's not funny. I'm gonna say it real slow for you. Gay. Frogs. Won't you fight for your life?
Why are you gay? Why should someone be gay? Doesn't that make you gay? So who is gay?
Who is gay? Y'all nasty. Mr. Nasty. Mr. Nasty. But yeah, guys, don't mix the RAM. This computer can take up to 16 gigs of RAM, but like I said, they took this entire computer apart to only increase it by 1 gig, because Windows only sees 1 gig of RAM. I don't know, guys. Like, if you're gonna do all that, just upgrade it to the maximum RAM capacity, because now, and I've been thinking I should take it apart and put some sticks in there. I'm a little leery about doing that, just because I got to take the whole thing apart. No, you Mr. Nasty. You Mr. Nasty. But anyway, if you guys want this laptop, it could be yours for the low price of $80 US or best offer. It could be yours. Battery doesn't work, but that's okay. Sometimes the batteries just don't work. You can get a new one though. You can get a new battery for like $20 on Amazon. So anyway, I've wasted a lot of time, guys. I've been wasting a lot of time when really we came here for the good stuff. How microchips are made, the CPU manufacturing process. I'm telling you what, ever wonder how billions of transistors fit onto a single chip? Have you? The size of your fingernail? It's like beep. Billions, not millions, billions of transistors. It's not magic, but it might as well be, right? Prepare to have your mind blown as we dive into the insane microscopic world of CPU lithography, the hidden art form that makes modern tech possible. Let's get into it, shall we? I'm excited. Fucking excited about this.
Inside the smartphone are 62 microchips containing a total of 90 billion transistors.
What? Hold on. 90 billion transistors. 90 billion. Like, you just say that like it's nothing. Like, think about that.
Microchips containing a total of 90 billion transistors.
90 billion. How the you fit 90 billion anything on a microchip?
transistors. These microchips are incredibly powerful and
this
the
is
cornerstone of all technology.
ridiculous.
But how are billions of nanoscopic transistors manufactured into a microchip
I don't
the
know.
size of a tiny ant?
I have no
Well,
idea.
all these microchips were manufactured in a semiconductor fabrication plant like this one. Inside it is a clean room, which spans the area of 8 football fields and is filled with hundreds of machines, ranging in size from that of a van to that of a city bus, and costing anywhere between a few million and $170 million.
Fuck, all the way off. What? You gotta be shitting me. What?
Within this microchip factory, silicon wafers travel from machine to machine and undergo around 1,000 processes over a 3-month period. And by the end of production, each silicon wafer will be covered in hundreds of CPU chips, each containing 26 billion transistors.
6 billion transistors?
When we zoom in, we can see the nanoscopic transistors at the bottom and over a dozen layers of wires above. This integrated circuit is then cut out from the wafer, tested, and packaged so that it can be installed into your desktop
Dude,
computer.
what the fuck? Yeah. Well, you know, you can kill cancer by fasting, I've heard. But it's fucking harder than it sounds. You really have to fast and like do a water fast and have like your electrolytes monitored and all this. And then it's just so, like you can ruin it all by just like popping a potato chip in your mouth and you're like, oh fuck, now I gotta start over. Because literally cancer cells feed off of everything that we're eating. So by fasting, you can literally kill any cancer just by fasting. But they don't want you to know that.
In this video, we're going to explore the entire microchip manufacturing process.
What are these fucking things? Are those carrying the wafers? No way.
And show you how billions of nanoscopic transistors and an impossibly complex 3D maze of wires are manufactured in one of the world's...
That's the part that kills me. The fucking wires that are over top of all the transistors.
Most technologically advanced microchip factories. It's an incredibly complicated process.
Like, how did they come up with this? Like I said, I understand like microchips. Like you got like a 16 or 32 transistor deal, you know? That's no problem. How do you make billions of them? And then it actually fucking works.
Stick around and let's...
Yeah, well, you gotta have water. Those pods carry 25, 300. Yeah, that's what I thought. Those are carrying the wafers. This is insane, dude. Well, but that's the thing. It is true, but you know, you got to do your own research. And I'm not gonna, you know, say it is or it isn't, because I've never had cancer and I've never fasted, but you have to fast for like 40 days on water and monitor your electrolytes. And that's a long time. So I'm not talking like just a couple of days. Like we're talking 40 days of fasting. And it's very, very hard to do. That's why I was saying, like, it's almost impossible just to do that. But I guarantee you, if you can do that, your body will immediately start devouring the cancer cells. It will eat them. Your body is a remarkable device. It's a remarkable thing, and it will repair itself. But when we keep eating, you're constantly, the cells are processing all the food and things like that, but it doesn't have time to clean out the system because it's constantly using new materials and replacing cells, you know, from the food that we eat. But when you give it time to just focus on repairing itself, yeah, when you give it time, like 40 days of fasting, it will literally start to destroy any disease in your body, from what I've heard. And again, I'm not here to say it works or it doesn't. I've never tried it. I was withering away from being malnourished, but the problem I was having was that I was eating, so I was still putting food in my body, and it was, my body was trying to process it, but it wasn't able to do so, right? Because I didn't have that enzyme in my body that was, you know, so I wasn't really fasting, you know, and my body wasn't able to repair itself. But I, you know, again, do some research on it. There's a lot of videos out there that talk about fasting, like serious hardcore fasting, not just like 6 days or 7 days. But I want to
Jump right in.
what's next.
A portion of this video is sponsored by Brilliant.org.
Is that a
There are
fact?
two sides to understanding how microchip manufacturing works. The first is the sequence of steps and processes needed to build the nanoscopic transistors and the labyrinth of wires. Whereas the second is how the semiconductor fab and multi-million-dollar equipment of the clean room floor work. And we'll be flipping between these two sides to get a complete picture.
And the whole process
Let's start
is
by
like
opening
automated.
up this desktop computer, focusing on the CPU and taking a look at what's inside. Here we have an integrated circuit, or die, which we'll refer to as a chip. This chip has 24 cores, a memory controller, a graphics processor, and many other
Fucking
sections.
phone. Look at all these. Look at all that.
Within one of the cores, we can see its block diagram and the various elements. Zooming in on this multiply block, we find a layout
Hold on. Let me go back.
the various elements. Zooming in on this
Okay.
multiply block,
So
we
this is
find a
just one
layout
block.
of 44,000 transistors that physically execute 32-bit multiplication and constitute just 0.00017%.
Huh? $44,000 transistors in that 0.00017% of this entire microchip.
Of the overall 26 billion transistors in the CPU.
How? How did they come up with this? That's why I'm like, is this alien technology? Is it dark magic? Is it this is, or is it science? Because like, this is insane to me. Like, this is just insane.
Zooming in even further, we see layers of metal wires or
Like, how did they do
interconnects.
that?
And at the very bottom are the transistors that form the
And that's it. Is that what it actually looks
basic
like?
logic gates.
That's it?
Note that these layers of metal interconnects
What the
aren't floating, but rather the empty space that you see is
They look like they're floating. Yeah. And they're, you know, that's why I was like, we you know, we take this for granted. Like, how fucking amazing this is. And like, you know, they're just like, oh yeah, it's my smartphone or my, you know, my computer, da 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 da. But like, do you actually know how it's made? Like, do you know what's actually going on here? Like, this is amazing.
Is filled with insulating materials, thus providing structure and preventing the metal wire layers from touching. Furthermore,
Like, and it's so precise. It has to be so precise because those wires cannot touch each other.
here we're only showing the transistors at the bottom and 5 layers of metal interconnects, with vias traveling vertically between the layers.
What? A testicle is the same thing. Like this? I mean... yeah, nothing... What do you mean nothing's floating? I mean, I get it. It's they're raising it up like to show, just so you can show where it is, but there has to be space in between. I get that it's not floating, but like there has to be space in between the wires. The wires can't be touching.
Actuality.
Oh.
There are a total of 17 metal layers of wires in the CPU.
Yeah.
And
so 17 layers, and obviously they're not like floating. There's a substrate in between them, and they're not that far away from each other either, you know. Like it's much smaller than that, but like look at that. 17 layers of wires.
Each successive set of levels uses larger and larger interconnects.
Oh. So it is larger and larger.
At the bottom are local interconnects that move data around this 32-bit multiply circuit. In the middle.
Fuck. Right. Yeah, it's like a cake. That makes sense. And it's filled with an insulator. And it looks, you know, like that looks large, but that, you know, they're zoomed in like a billion times or whatever. So it's like literally, I wish they would show like a human hair or something to show you like how small that really is. That's what I'm like, is this black magic? Like, how do you make something like that?
Interconnects that move data around this 32-bit multiply circuit. In the middle are intermediate interconnects that move data around the core, and at the top are global interconnects that move data around the entire CPU. You might be wondering...
Got it. So like, this is just one cluster. The layers up top are moving them between different clusters.
How small are these transistors? Zooming in again and past the interconnect layers, we find FinFETs, which are transistors whose...
Hey, Gabimaru. What up? It's Gabimaru. Welcome in, brother. How you doing? We're learning about CPUs and the black magic of how they're made.
Channel dimensions are 36 by 6 by 52 nanometers.
Nanometers. Nano.
With a transistor to transistor pitch of 57 nanometers.
Okay.
Clearly, the transistors are incredibly small. Here's a mitochondria, a dust particle.
Oh, fuck off.
And a human hair
What
for size
fuck all the way off. Are you kidding me?
comparisons. Now that you have a sense
How the fuck do you make that?
of what the transistors and labyrinth of metal interconnects look like, let's explore how they're manufactured. We'll begin with an analogy. Imagine
It blows my mind, dude. It absolutely blows my mind. Like, this has to be some sort of alien technology. I'm convinced. Like, this is fucking wild. Ah, Ryzen 3. Ryzen 3. Oh, Ryzen 5. Ryzen 5. That's not bad. Ryzen 5's not a bad one. Ryzen 5's okay, right? What do I have? I got like a Ryzen 9 or something. But we're baking a cake.
Baking a cake that's 80 layers tall.
Oh,
with
sure.
each layer
That sounds
cut to
easy.
a unique shape. To make this cake, there are 940 steps in the recipe,
Sounds easy enough.
which takes 3 months to complete and includes hundreds of exotic ingredients.
Why is there a cat inside the television? That's what I want to know.
And if any measurement, baking time, or temperature is more than 1% off, then the cake is entirely ruined. That's kind of what it's like.
This is an exact science.
To make a microchip, but microchips are even more complicated. Let's look at a single layer of this integrated circuit and run through a simplified set of steps used to build it. To start, a layer of insulating silicon dioxide is deposited on top of the wafer, and then a layer of light-sensitive photoresist is spread across the top.
Okay.
Next, using UV light and a stencil,
Oh, you got brokenhearted? No, dude. I'm sorry. Yeah. Yeah, but they still make Ryzen 5s. I think it's the age of it, so yeah. Oh. Yeah, everybody's going through it, man. I'm so sorry. You guys, if you ever needed someone to talk to, you can call me on Discord anytime, you know. Yeah, shit's crazy, man. It's getting crazier out there. Yeah, photo lithography. Instructions programmed into the processing equipment are called recipes for a reason. Yeah, I guess. And yeah, like, you know, an older Ryzen 5 is not the same as a newer Ryzen 5, but they're similar.
a pattern is applied to the photoresist.
So basically it's a
light and a stencil.
A stencil.
Across the top. Next, using UV light and a stencil, a pattern is applied to the photoresist.
So just a pattern on a piece of photo.
Solvents then are used to remove the areas hit by the UV light, thus creating a patterned mask layer. Using the mask, the revealed silicon dioxide is etched away down to the previous layer. Next, the
You got through it. I played it. I only play solos usually. I was trying to do some fills last season. That didn't go so well. But I won my can I send me a clip? Yeah. Right now? Yeah, go ahead. But I won my third game. My third game on the new season, so not bad. Got the victory umbrella or whatever. But it was good. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. It's fun, you know. I don't know how much I'm gonna play, but I like it.
The mask layer is removed, and a layer of copper is added to cover the wafer and fill in the areas that were just etched away. Finally, the surface is ground down and leveled off to reveal the copper and insulator patterns. And
I think I understand. You wanted to show me? Yeah. Yeah.
and thus
You want
a
to see it?
single layer is completed.
So that's
in order-
one layer using photolithography. That's one layer. And they're going, what,
To build
90?
the next layer,
layers?
which is a vertical set of metal vias, we repeat the same set of steps, but use a different pattern for the photomask. Since these layers are all built using the same set of steps, it's more effective to visualize the steps as a circle, like a clock. To build all the 80 layers of the
Right.
die, this sequence is repeated
Right.
over and over,
and
resulting
over and
in
over.
940 steps.
Jesus. Damascus copper. Nice. Do you make processors? You seem to know all about this, Julio.
One important note is that the FinFET transistors at the bottom are even more complicated than the metal wires, and thus additional steps are needed to fabricate them. Furthermore, cleaning the wafer to wash away dust particles that may have landed on the wafer, as well as inspecting the wafer to make sure everything is being built properly, happens frequently, and these steps need to be added to the circle. A different tool is used to complete each of these process steps.
Wow.
Now that we have an understanding of the steps,
See, that's what blows my mind. It's like, and even like older computers, right? This whole process was done to these old. Oh, you were in the equipment. Nice. That's awesome, man. So yeah, like even older computers, right? And I'm buying them for like 3 for $30, right? And like all of this went through just to make that processor inside there. That's wild, dude.
let's take a look at this semiconductor fabrication plant. This CPU is manufactured on a 300 millimeter silicon wafer, which can fit 230 CPU chips.
Right.
In contrast, DRAM chips are considerably smaller, and thus 952 of them can fit on a wafer. These silicon wafers are carried in stacks of 25 using a container called a front opening universal pod, or FOUP.
A FOUP.
This
A FOUP. Or a FOUP. Oh, hold on, I want to see that again.
These silicon wafers are carried in stacks of 25,
25.
using a container called a front opening universal pod,
A front opening universal pod,
or
a FOUP.
This sealed
A FOUP.
plastic wafer carrier is transported around the clean room floor using an overhead transport system which lowers the FOUP onto the tool's landing pad.
Lowers the
Inside
FOUP. I'm sorry, it lowers the FOUP.
tool, robotic arms transport the wafer through vacuum load
And the whole thing is fucking automated. The whole thing.
locks and to different process chambers where materials are added, removed, or processed in ways that we'll explore later. The wafers are then returned to the FOUP, resealed inside, lifted up to the overhead transport system, and carried to and dropped onto the next tool, where the
What
next
the
step in the process is completed. To build the entire chip composed of 80 different layers, it takes 3 months of traveling from tool to tool,
Wow.
where at each stop, one of the 940 process steps is completed.
Wow.
In order to increase the microchip mass production capabilities of a semiconductor fabrication plant, or fab, typically there are dozens of the same semiconductor tools organized in rows that
So Julio, you used to work on these? You used to, would you like repair them or build them or?
Perform the same process. On the clean room floor, there are a total of 435 semiconductor tools, resulting in the fab's production capacity of 50,000 wafers or 11.5 million CPUs a month.
What? Are we really making that many fucking CPUs? Every month?
These tools have rather complicated names, so we'll start
sure
by
they do.
categorizing them according to their functionality. There are 6 groups: making the mask layer, adding material, removing material, modifying the material, cleaning the wafer, and finally, inspecting the wafer.
Oh my God. All right. Let's take a break here for a second. So we got all the steps. You ran a couple. Oh, you ran the equipments. Wow. So did you have to wear like the whole clean get up, like the white suit and the mask and everything? That's pretty cool. Hang on. I'm going to check out, let's check out Gabby Maru's video real quick. His experience on Fortnite. Let's see. Do I even have, I don't even think I have Discord open. Let me come over here. Let's see. Let's go to the site. Oh, hang on. It's playing twice. All right. So here we go. Here we go. Take a quick break. This is Gabby Maru playing Fortnite. Let's pop it up. Make sure we got 1080p. Oh, he's honking, trying to be friendly. He's like, I'm friendly. Are you? Oh. You trying to be friendly? Oh, there you go. 84. Kinda. Whoa. Oh. What the Yeah, see, now you're getting pinched. Yeah. Ooh, there he is. Oh! Yeah, the snipers, I've been having issues with them too. Like, all of those should have been hits. Oh, jeez. I've been having issues with the snipers too. Yeah, dude, you got pinched. I'd have got out of there immediately. As soon as that guy up on the mountain started shooting, I'd have relocated personally. But yeah. Yeah. Yeah, the car blew up too. Yeah, it's been a little glitchy. But there's a lot of that. So like anytime I'm like fighting someone and I get a shot across the bow, right? If like I'm like fighting here and then someone like, I'm like, nope, I'm out. And I just fucking relocate, reassess like where all these shots are coming from. Cause yeah, there's just too much. And the cheaters, like as soon as someone else starts engaging, it's for me, like I can't do, sometimes I can do a 2v1, but not at like distance like that. People are too good with the snipers, especially you. But yeah, I was having issues like that with the sniper too, where like they should have been hitting, they just were not hitting. Yeah, it might be the bullet drop. Yeah, so then you switch to the AR and there's no bullet drop. So it's like, yeah, exactly. So you just switch over to the AR and then there's no bullet drop. So
We've color-coded the different functional groups to the various tools and process steps to help you not get lost.
Oh, thank you.
Let's
Thank you.
next look at
I'm
each of
already
these
lost.
semiconductor tools and see how they process the wafer in various ways.
Okay.
We'll start with the ones that are used to make the mask layer, or the nanoscopic stencil on the wafer. These tools include the photoresist.
Yeah, the snipers aren't bad. They're 198 headshot. Yeah. Yeah, and 89 to the body or something like that.
Spin coater.
I like the map. The map they did a really good job on, and the wingsuit is a lot of fun. I wish there was a way to boost the wingsuit, and there kind of is. You could do like a swoop maneuver, but then toward the end it just gets really slow. So I usually just drop down because it gets really slow. And it would be cool to be able to shoot from the wingsuit. I feel like that's something that could be doable.
Photolithography tool, developer, and photoresist stripper. First, the photoresist spin coater applies a light-sensitive layer to the surface of the wafer and sends it through a soft bake, where the wafer is heated in order to evaporate the solvent from the photoresist. Next, the wafer goes to the lithography tool, which shines UV light through a stencil, which is technically called a photomask.
A photomask, right. I understand masking.
The light passes through the stencil and is then demagnified or shrunk down to produce a nanoscopic pattern on the wafer.
Stop it.
Wherever the light from the stencil touches the wafer, the photoresist is weakened. The wafer then goes to the developer, and the weakened photoresist is washed away.
Okay. Okay, I understand. So it's essentially old school photography. That's all it is. It's old school photography, like developing negatives and using masks. That's wild, dude. What?
Leaving only the patterned nanoscopic stencil on the wafer. The wafer is then sent through a hard bake to harden the remaining photoresist. Next, the wafer travels to other tools to undergo processing. And once these processes are completed, the wafer goes to a photoresist stripper, which uses solvents to dissolve and remove the photoresist mask layer.
Right. Literally goes from lowest tech process to most critical. Which one's most critical? Lowest tech.
And that's how a mask layer is formed and then removed. The photolithography tool is one of the most important. So let's take a look at it.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta take a break before this one. I gotta use the bathroom. I will be right back. This is I saw this on like a TikTok and I was like, what? So, take a quick break. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. I'm excited. This is crazy. This part. You see this?
Inside is a UV light source, a set of lenses to focus the light, a photomask which contains the stencil or design of the layer to be patterned, and a wafer carrier. The photomask is 6 by 6 inches and, based on the dimensions of the CPU, can fit 2 copies of a single layer of the CPU design. The purpose of using a photomask with these crazy optics is because it's a reliable way to copy and paste a design for billions of nanoscopic transistors and wires onto 230 identical CPUs on a single wafer in a few minutes.
Right.
After the light passes through the photomask, the UV light goes to more lenses in order to shrink down the pattern by a factor of 4 and print a single layer of the design onto the photoresist. The wafer carrier steps from position to position, printing the photomask image at each stop until all 230 chips are patterned. Let's clarify one detail. In our previous examples, we talked a lot about this CPU having 80 layers. Specifically, what we were referring to is the number of photomasks and mask layers used.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no! We'll be right back, guys. Hey, we're back, guys. Cooper just got back from school. He's a little upset. Cat's here. And we got sushi. Oh. Sushi? Oh, sushi? Sushi. Oh. We got sushi, yo. We got some sushi. Some sushi. So, yeah, now I kind of am understanding the process a lot more. I get it. It is basically old school photography. Oh, okay. Litho is the most critical, and then spin coating is low tech. Okay. Spin coating. I guess I don't understand fully the spin coating. I don't think we got to that point yet, but I kind of understand it. Yeah, litho has to be the most critical. It's just like photography. Back in the day, yeah, the optics are insane. It has to be absolutely in focus. It's got to be completely precise. Like, I can imagine, because yeah, doing like old school photography, like when you're developing photo negatives, which is essentially exactly what it is. You're just doing a photo negative, but then you're applying metal and other elements to it. It's just like, so it's not as complex as I first thought it was, but it's still very, very, very complex, and I have no idea how they came up with this. Probably aliens. Yeah, I have a cup here. Probably aliens was my guess.
You were looking around, I was like, for water.
What's that? Water? Yeah. We got sushi. We got, what is this, spicy tuna? Or spicy, yeah, tuna? We got spicy tuna. We got spicy tuna. Hang on, I gotta get my headphones. I apologize for eating in front of y'all, but I'm hungry. I'm hungry. Ooh, Gabby Maru. Shaking them. Shake them if you got them. That's what I say. That's what I say. Shake them if you got them. I don't have them, so I won't be shaking them. Thank you, honey. Thank you. Water. Stay hydrated. All right. So yeah, it's not as complicated as I first thought, but still pretty sure it came from aliens. Almost positive.
To create all the different layers
There we go.
of patterns on the wafer. Therefore, one complete CPU chip uses 80 different photomasks,
Right.
each costing $300,000.
Fuck off.
With only one mask layer being patterned at a time. This CPU chip.
What? Why would that cost $300,000 for a mask? What? Hang on. So each of these, oh my God, that is mind-boggling. Each of these cost $30,000, but it said that you could put 2 per chip or 2 per mask. So is it 30,000 for 2? They said you needed 80 of them, but really you would only need 40 because there's 2 on each thing.
With only one mask layer being patterned at a time,
Right.
this CPU chip will undergo 80 separate visits to the
Holy
lithography
shit.
tool. We could spend another hour talking about photolithography,
Yes, we could.
but let's move on to the next category of tools.
But I wanna keep talking
Deposition
about
tools are used to
photolithography.
add or deposit material onto the wafer.
Right.
A lot of times we use the mask layer from the photolithography step to add materials to the areas uncovered by the mask layer, kind of like spray painting through a stencil.
Right.
Due to the wide range of elements and compounds used to create the layers, deposition tools have a wide range of variations with complicated names and acronyms for each variant. But essentially, there are 3 key groups of materials that are added or deposited onto the wafer.
Okay.
Metals such as
Right.
copper or tantalum,
Right.
insulators, which are typically called oxides,
Okay.
and crystalline layers of silicon. Each group of different materials uses different physics and chemistry principles to deposit the material on the wafer, and therefore has a different technical name for the tool that deposits the material. Deposition tools typically have a central wafer handling chamber, with the various chambers attached to the edges, each one dedicated to adding just a single element or compound. The next category of machines do the opposite, which is to remove material. There are 2 key methods. The first is etching. Etchers use either corrosive chemicals or high-energy plasmas to react with and remove materials from the surface of the wafer. They're typically used with the mask layer stencil in order to remove the material exposed by the mask, thus creating a hole that can be later filled by a deposition tool. The second method to remove material is CMP, which is chemical mechanical planarization. CMP applies slurry and uses abrasive pads to grind and polish away the top surface of the wafer, making it perfectly flat.
Yep.
CMP levels off the top layers of the wafer and is typically used as the last step in a cycle of processes in order to prepare the wafer for another layer to be added.
Right.
The fourth category are tools that modify the silicon and are called ion implanters. These tools use the photomask stencil to bombard the unmasked regions with phosphor, boron, or other elements in order to make the P and the N regions required to form the transistors themselves. Therefore,
Never see that combination of reactors on a cluster. What do you mean?
implanters are only used in the front end of line. You might think that this is
When you're putting metals and stuff on it? Oops. I'm talking about the, hang on, let me go back. It's etching the reactors. These? You talking about this thing?
Central wafer handling chamber, with the various chambers attached to the edges, each one dedicated to adding just a...
So like this? You'd never see this, so it's probably reduced down to like 1 or 2 metals. And then it goes to a different machine, which has, yeah. Yeah, so you wouldn't see all of these because it would probably be very easy to cross-contaminate. I would think it would just do 1, maybe 2 materials at a time. Because all of those are conductive, I would think. So you don't want all those touching each other. I don't know.
Single element or compound. The next category of machines do the opposite, which is to remove material.
Oh, I think he said that.
The next handling chamber, with the various chambers attached to the edges, each one dedicated to adding just a single element or compound. The next category of machines do the opposite, which is to remove material. There are two materials that can be later CMP, which is chemical mechanical planarization. CMP applies slurry and uses abrasive pads to grind and polish away the top surface of the wafer, making it perfectly flat. CMP levels off the top layers of the wafer and is typically used as the last step in a cycle of processes in order to prepare the wafer for another layer to be added. The fourth category are tools that modify the silicon and are called ion implanters. These tools use the photomask stencil to bombard the unmasked regions with phosphor, boron, or other elements in order to make the P and the N regions required to form the transistors themselves. Therefore, ion implanters are only used in the front end of line. You might think that this is adding material. However, ion implanters only add around 1 atom of phosphor or boron for every 10,000 atoms of silicon. Additionally, while other machines spray paint a layer on top of the wafer, ion implanters hurl atoms deep into the silicon lattice, kind of like a cannon launching a baseball 6 feet into a concrete wall. This process typically damages the silicon lattice, which is why the following step is to repair the silicon by heating the wafer using a separate tool called an annealer. The fifth category of tools are used to clean and remove any contaminants or particles from the wafer. These wafer washers use ultra-pure water to clean the wafer and then dry it with nitrogen or hot isopropyl alcohol. Cleaning the wafer happens rather frequently in order to remove any stray particles that may have fallen onto the wafer. And finally, sixth are tools that inspect the transistors and metal layers for defects and are called metrology tools. A common metrology tool uses a scanning electron microscope with nanometer level resolution to take pictures of the top surface of the wafer and determine if there are defects such as improperly patterned layers or particles on the surface. When fabricating an integrated circuit that takes 3 months to complete, it's important to repeatedly monitor the progress and make sure that each of the processes is being executed with nanometer level precision.
Cat Spade. Subscribe for 15 months. Hooray!
You're not ready for it.
Thank you, Cat. Sorry, I'm going to skip their ad.
Now that we've covered each of the categories, here are the color-coded process steps, along with the layout of the tools in the semiconductor fabrication plant. Let's run through the complete set of steps used to manufacture a single metal interconnect layer. First, a layer of insulating silicon dioxide is deposited onto the wafer. Next, photoresist is spread across the surface and the wafer is sent through a soft bake to remove the solvent. The wafer then travels to the photolithography tool, where the design from the photomask is transferred to each of the chips on the wafer by weakening the areas of photoresist hit by the light. The wafer next goes to the developer to wash away the sections that were hit by the light from the lithography tool, and then through a hard bake to harden the remaining photoresist. With the mask layer built, the wafer goes to an etching tool, where a plasma etcher removes a vertical column through the exposed silicon dioxide until it reaches the previous layer's metal vias. Next, the wafer is sent to a photoresist stripper, where the mask layer is removed. The wafer then travels to a physical vapor deposition tool, where a sequence of metals fills in the exposed pattern and coats the wafer in metal. Finally, the wafer is sent to a chemical-mechanical planarization tool, where the metal is ground down so that all that remains is a flat layer of insulating silicon dioxide and conductive copper interconnects that match the pattern from the photomask. A single metal layer is now completed, and the wafer is ready for the next cycle to begin, where insulating silicon dioxide in the vias will be added.
Design something like this.
Note that cleaning and wafer metrology or inspection steps occur in between many of these other steps. Furthermore, the process steps to make the transistor.
These people are way too smart for their own good. Like, who the fuck? Who came up with this? Like, seriously. Who came up with this? And then the fact that it actually works. They're like, oh yeah, and it works. Yep, it works. Wow. Simply amazing. Wasabi!
It's not letting me comment. It's not letting me comment.
You can't comment? Why not? Yo.
Come on, go. Hey, what's up?
He wants my stuff.
Are less straightforward and utilize the ion implanter, and thus we'll cover them in a separate video on transistor physics and design. These steps are for building the integrated circuit on the wafer. However, there are additional steps in manufacturing a microchip, which we'll explore in a little bit. But before we get there, one important thing to note is that the semiconductor industry is incredibly secretive regarding the exact tool layout and the process steps and...
What?
Probably car.
You got
only
him.
have one shoe.
You got him a new car? Is that what you said? Oh, his shoe is in the car? Oh, jeez.
Recipes used to make the transistors. We wanted to make the best video on how microchips are made, and it took us 180 hours of scouring the internet and textbooks for information and reference images. And, using what we found, we spent 205 hours modeling each of these tools, the many layers of the integrated circuit, and the semiconductor fab. Furthermore, writing the script took about 100 hours, and then animating all these visuals took more than 825 hours.
Wow.
As a result,
look at that.
This video took over 1,300 hours to make.
Wow.
And it's entirely free to watch. We want to make more videos like this one, where we explore computer architecture and how transistors work, and we can't do it without your help. The best way you can help is by taking a few seconds to scroll down, write a comment below, like this video,
there you go.
Subscribe if you haven't already, and then share this video on social media or send it to a friend or colleague.
It's that simple.
Truly,
takes 25
just
seconds
a few
to comment.
seconds of your time
2 seconds
helps
for a thumbs
far
up.
more than you think.
That's crazy.
Additionally, We have a Patreon page
What's it do?
where we'll be releasing behind-the-scenes footage of our work and updates for upcoming videos. If you find what we do useful, we would appreciate any support. Thank you. So then,
You're
what are
welcome.
the additional
Let's give 'em a
steps
like.
in manufacturing a microchip? Before chip manufacturing at the fab, we first have to manufacture the silicon wafers by
the
refining
silicon
quartzite into
wafers.
pure silicon,
Let's
and
do it.
then growing a monocrystalline ingot and cutting it into wafers.
Yeah, sounds
For
easy
reference,
enough.
These 300 millimeter wafers are around 3/4 of a millimeter thick. They have a barcode on the side and a small notch in them to indicate the direction of the crystal lattice. Furthermore, these wafers are incredibly delicate and shatter into hundreds of shards when broken. A single wafer costs around $100, but after being populated with CPUs, it's worth closer to $100,000,
Wow.
making it quite literally 10 times more valuable than its weight in gold. Moving on to the steps after chip manufacturing. The completed wafer is sent to a separate building where each of the CPUs undergoes rigorous testing to figure out if it works as intended. If a CPU works, that's great. But frequently, a particle or photomass defect has damaged a section of the integrated circuit, rendering that section defective.
Right.
These semi-functional circuits are then categorized or
Right.
binned
See?
based on
That's why. That's why you get the i7s, i9s, i3s, i5s. So basically, the i3s are the most defective, the i5s are less defective, and so on. That one didn't even make the cut. There's so much trash on that one. You don't want that one.
what still works. These Intel 13th gen processors
Boom. So that's why you want the higher numbers, because they're the most perfect chips.
are sold as an i9, i7, i5, or i3, depending on how many cores are functional with different product lines.
Correct. So see, some of the cores function, some don't, because they're defective.
Of CPUs whose
That I did
onboard
know. That I did know.
integrated graphics sections are defective. These wafers are transported to another building
So it's like, even though they're defective, they still function, and they're still going to sell them. They're still going to sell them to you.
where the chips are cut out using a laser, flipped over, and placed on an interposer, which distributes the connection points to a printed circuit board,
Right.
while a protective heat-conductive cover is placed on the back side. The printed circuit board holds the landing grid array that interfaces with the motherboard, as well as various electrical components. Next, an integrated heat spreader is mounted on top, and the entire assembly is tested one last time before being packaged for sale.
Wow.
Finally, the CPU is now ready to be mounted onto the motherboard and installed into your desktop computer. It's important to understand that chip manufacturing requires an incredible amount of science and engineering, and there's a free and easy way to learn the basic principles inside each of these complex tools. And that's with
Oh, really? So 300 millimeters is likely to be the last size. Wow. Millimeters or nanometers?
this video's sponsor, Brilliant.org. Brilliant reimagines how courses are taught. Instead of boring hour-long lectures or textbooks that put you to sleep,
I'm asleep.
Brilliant uses fun and interactive modules inside thousands of lessons from basics to advanced
All right, I'm listening.
topics, and new lessons are added every month.
All right.
Whatever your skill level, Brilliant customizes its
0.
content to fit your needs and allows you to learn at your own pace.
Okay.
We use Brilliant daily. We're working on videos on how AI and ChatGPT works, and so each of our animators is progressing through their lessons on how large...
So they can't go any lower than 300 because you can't make a chip viably work any smaller than that.
Language models work. On this very topic, how computer moves by use the go-to resource for world
brilliant.
The link is in the video. Thankful to all our Patreon and YouTube membership sponsors for supporting our work.
Oh, that's cool at the bottom there, where it's like building the chip.
Our work, you can find the links in the description below.
That's incredible.
This is Branch Education, and we create 3D animations that dive deeply into the technology that drives our modern world. Watch another Branch video by clicking one of these cards, or click here to subscribe. Thanks for watching to the end.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you guys. And hang on, let's pause that. Thank you guys. This is Branch Education. Be sure to subscribe. I'm going to subscribe to them. That was a really good video. Like, comment, and subscribe. So, and what else did he say? There was one other thing he said to do. Comment, like, share, subscribe, share it maybe? I don't know. I guess I'm sharing it right now. So, four check boxes. Done. I'm going to say that is some crazy alien technology. That is some crazy alien technology. But like I said, it's not as complicated as I thought it was, because it's basically a photography system. It's like basic photography and masking, which I understand as a designer, like masking is everything. Like selection and masking is like the essentials in graphic design, right? So like I totally understand how it's made. I just don't understand who the fuck came up with that. Who came up with the microprocessing
inside
like,
this
the whole process, you know what I mean? So how does DRAM work? This is another one, printing the $200 million machine. Hang on. $200 million machine that prints microchips. The EUV photolithography system.
Inside every modern laptop, smartphone,
so is this the
desktop
same
computer,
type video?
advanced AI server, or practically any other high-tech device are cutting-edge microchips, such as the CPU, GPU, SoC, DRAM, and SSD chips.
All right.
Each with tens of billions of transistors inside of them.
Yes.
The transistors inside these microchips are incredibly small, with the tiniest features measuring around 10 nanometers or 45 silicon atoms. This feat of science and engineering may seem impossible because on one hand, each of these microchips is made from connecting billions upon billions of transistors together, and then on the other hand, each individual transistor is only nanometers in size.
Right.
Additionally, these microchips are everywhere and in everything.
Right.
And therefore, they must be reliably mass-produced. So, how is manufacturing such a microchip even possible? These are photolithography tools, and they're the key to manufacturing microchips.
Yes, they are.
However, it's important to note that there are dozens of different types of tools used in the various steps for making microchips.
Right, we covered
and
that.
each one plays a critical role in the manufacturing process.
Right, correct.
So, to be
especially
accurate,
the FOUP.
Photolithography tools are the ones that are used to copy and imprint the nanoscopic patterns of transistors and layers of wires onto a microchip. And therefore, a useful analogy is to think of these photolithography tools as nanoscale microchip photocopiers. Photolithography tools have been continuously evolving
I'll
to
say.
copy and imprint smaller and smaller transistors and circuitry.
Right.
And in this video, we're going to dive into this state-of-the-art EUV photolithography system and explore the science and engineering inside of it. So let's begin with a quick overview. To start, the EUV lithography machine takes the design of a single layer of a microchip on what's called a photomask and loads it into the machine.
Got it.
Next, a 300 millimeter silicon wafer with a set of prior processes applied to it is placed onto a wafer carrier inside the machine.
It's prepped.
With
It's ready
both
to
in
go.
place, the machine uses extreme ultraviolet light, or EUV, and a set of mirrors to copy the design from the photomask onto a silicon wafer.
Got it.
The wafer moves to the next position, and the microchip design is copied yet again. This copying happens over and over until the wafer is filled with 100 or more microchips.
That's probably
and then
not
a
even
new
the right
wafer
speed.
comes in, and the copying starts over.
So fast.
This is the real-time speed of the lithography
That's the
machine,
real
taking about 18 seconds to duplicate the same microchip design around 100 times across the entire area of a 300 millimeter wafer. Let's take a look at one of these microchips and see what
18 seconds it takes to do that? To make like 200 with just one layer. But 200 and some odd chips. How many chips?
taking about 18 seconds to duplicate the same microchip design around 100 times across the entire area of a 300 millimeter wafer. Let's take a look at one of these microchips and see what exactly we're copying.
They're not wasting any time,
Inside
are they?
this microchip are approximately 30 billion transistors.
Fuck off.
And if you were wondering, it's the design of a GPU or graphics processing unit found in the center of a graphics card. When we zoom into a nanoscopic view of this microchip, we find a 3D maze of transistors and layers upon layers of wires with the smallest dimensions of the bottommost layers measuring around 10 nanometers or around 45 silicon atoms. Specifically, the EUV photolithography system typically patterns the lower layers with the smallest features, whereas other photolithography tools are used to pattern the higher layers. It might be difficult to fully grasp the level of detail and complexity inside a single layer of billions of nanoscopic transistors.
It very much
so
is.
let's use
My
a
brain
thought
hurts.
experiment and pretend that instead of copying transistors and wires, this EUV photolithography.
Yeah, the mask making process itself is surprisingly complex. They have to be tweaked to get the desired pattern on the chip. I bet. And it's got to be in focus. You don't want to be out of focus, because you're dealing with photography essentially, and each one of those lenses has to be in focus to print on the chip correctly.
Photography system is used to copy the text from a book.
Oh, stop it.
If the width of each line of a letter is 13 nanometers, then the word cat would take up around 155 by 240 nanometers.
Huh? Oh, he's sleeping? Was he grumpy?
Yeah.
Oh.
I went to go put him down and he was like, "Ee." He made that noise like he was about to start crying, and then I put him down and he immediately closed his eyes. I was like,
Oh. That's a grumpy baby.
I know.
That's a grumpy baby. That was wild. So I'm not fully sure what they're doing here. They're just talking about the length of a word. I'm going to rewind this because I missed something. I think I was talking.
Experiment and pretend that instead of copying transistors and wires, this EUV photolithography system is used to copy the text from a book.
Okay.
If the width of each line of a letter is 13 nanometers, then the word cat would take up around 155 by 240 nanometers.
Okay.
A page of text would be about the size of a red blood cell.
What?
And a chapter of a book would be a grain of pollen. When we zoom out to see the equivalent area of a GPU chip, how many pages of text do you think we could fit using these nanoscopic letters? Well, we could print all 7 Harry Potter books, plus every book written by Stephen King,
Oh, stop
the
it.
entirety of the text from the English Wikipedia, and still have enough space to fit every single book from your local public library.
Stop it.
There's an unbelievable quantity of nanoscopic lines and details that can fit into the area of a microchip. And it's all photocopied by this EUV lithography system in less than a second. It's no exaggeration to say that every piece of modern technology that you use is made possible by this machine, and in this video, we're going to explore the key modules inside it and see how they work.
It's fucking magic.
So let's jump
It's
right
black
in.
magic is what it is.
This video is sponsored by ASML, the company that designs and manufactures EUV lithography systems.
No shit.
Throughout the video, all the details and facts were independently researched, written, and animated. Additionally, some aspects are simplified, and due to the proprietary knowledge and confidentiality around EUV lithography, some of the details we present
thank
are
you for the
approximated
subscription,
or
Mohammed.
modified.
Appreciate you.
Before we open up and
you for
explore this
subscribing.
EUV system, let's first spend a few minutes discussing microchip manufacturing and semiconductor fabrication plants, or fabs for short, and the
Test.
exact role of this machine.
You're testing?
Inside our example fab are hundreds of machines, of which a couple
I knew
dozen.
it. All right. I gotta rewind a little bit. Sorry.
Before we open up and explore this EUV system,
All right.
let's first spend a few minutes discussing microchip manufacturing and semiconductor fabrication plants,
Okay.
or fabs for short, and the exact role of this machine.
All right.
Inside our example fab are hundreds of machines, of which a couple dozen or so are the EUV lithography machines we've been discussing. To make a microchip, 300 millimeter silicon wafers are stacked inside a front opening universal pod, or FOUP, and carried from machine to machine
that one.
using an overhead transport system.
I know that one.
The FOUP is lowered onto a machine where each wafer is processed in one way or another.
Yep.
And once the machine completes its work, the wafers are returned to the FOUP.
Go
The pod is
get it.
picked up,
Pick up that
carried to the next machine, and dropped off for the next step in the
Drop
process.
off the FOUP. Got it.
Microchip manufacturing is incredibly complicated.
You think?
But a simple way to think about it is that it's kind of like spray painting a design through a stencil.
That's exactly
But
what it
instead
is.
of art, this stencil contains the nanoscopic patterns used to build the transistors and wires.
Correct.
Inside the microchip factory, some tools are used to build a stencil, such as the EUV lithography system, and many of the other machines, such as the deposition tools or ion implanters, are the spray paint. So let's take a look at how we build the stencil on the wafer, which is technically called a photoresist layer.
Right.
To begin, the wafer travels to a machine called a track tool, where a light-sensitive material called photoresist, or just resist, is poured on and evenly spread across a spinning wafer.
I was going to say they spin it.
The wafer
Right.
is heated in order to dry and solidify the resist, thus forming a flat blank stencil.
Got it.
The wafer then moves to the photolithography tool, where EUV, or extreme ultraviolet light, is projected onto the photomask, which is also called a reticle, but typically just a mask for short. When EUV light hits the mask, the patterned information is imprinted in the light, and this imprinted light then bounces off a set of mirrored lenses in order to project a focused and scaled-down image of the mask onto the wafer. Wherever the EUV light touches, the resist is modified, and thus the design is copied from the mask onto the wafer.
Right.
The wafer moves to the next position, and the EUV
200
patterning
times in
process
18
repeats
seconds.
again
Or no,
until the
100
entire
times.
wafer is filled with copies of the
Whatever.
design
Really
from the
fast.
mask.
Does it really,
Next,
really fast.
the wafer travels back to the track tool, where the modified resist is washed away using a developing solvent,
Okay.
and the water is heated
And
to
then
form
you
a
bake it
hardened
again.
stencil or completed photoresist mask layer
Pizza's
on the
done.
top of the wafer.
Okay, the pizza's done.
Now that the wafer is patterned, the wafer travels to the other spray paint-like tools in the fab,
Okay.
which are used to etch away the
Pizza's
uncovered
done. Yep.
areas. implant
etch it
dopants
away.
such as boron or phosphor, or deposit a layer of copper,
There you go.
tungsten,
Copper.
or other metals,
Right.
thereby building
Right.
a single layer
Sprinkle
of
some cheese on
nanoscopic
there.
structures. Note that there are additional process steps that we're not going to get into.
We're not getting into those.
Now that we have a basic understanding of how the stencil and spray paint-like processes form a single layer,
Yep.
let's zoom into a nanoscopic
Look
view
at that
inside
shit.
a microchip,
Stop
where
it.
we can see how the transistors and wires are incredibly complicated three-dimensional structures.
yeah.
Each of these layers are built one after the other, starting with the transistors at the bottom, moving up to the small wires, and then wider and wider metal layers further up. In essence, to build a complete microchip, the stencil and spray paint process is repeated over and over
80
each time,
times or
building
more.
only a single layer.
80
and therefore,
or more times.
it's more effective to visualize these processes as a loop, where a single pass of the loop forms one layer using a single mask design in the lithography tool.
Right.
And then another layer is built using an entirely different mask loaded in the machine.
Right.
To complete a GPU chip like this one, the series of process steps or loops is repeated around 80 times,
80. Yes,
resulting
that's
in around 1,000 individual process steps and taking 4 or so months to complete. Let's go back to the nanoscopic view of the microchip. Here we can see that the lower layers are incredibly tiny, and 13 nanometer EUV light is used to build the pattern for these layers. However, the upper wires are substantially larger and are patterned using an entirely different machine called a DUV, or Deep Ultraviolet Photolithography System, which is also built by ASML and uses a deep ultraviolet wavelength of light.
Why?
DUV lithography tools were introduced in the 2000s and are still incredibly advanced machines. Because DUV tools typically cost less than EUV machines,
it uses a drop of water between the lens and Ah, really? So I was correct with the lenses and mirrors having to be in focus, and because they're shrinking it down too. A drop of water, immersion lithography. That's interesting. Interesting.
it's more cost-effective to use EUV tools to pattern the transistors and so-called critical layers, and then use DUV tools to pattern the upper, wider, less critical layers. Additionally, less advanced chips that don't require the smallest transistors and wires may forego using EUV lithography altogether and only use DUV wavelengths such as 193, 248, or 365 nanometers. As a result, cutting-edge fabs typically utilize different types of lithography tools, and all these machines work as an intricate ecosystem to make a microchip. With the basics of microchip manufacturing covered, let's open an EUV lithography system, explore the incredible science and engineering inside, and divide the system into its 5 key parts. The light source, the illuminator, the reticle handler and reticle stage, the projection optics, and finally, the wafer handler and wafer stages. We'll begin with the light source, which produces the EUV light. But let's first answer the question of why we even need to use extreme ultraviolet light. Well, a simple analogy is to think of the light used to project and copy the pattern from the photomask as the tip of a marker. And, as you're probably familiar with markers, if you want to draw thin lines, then you need a marker that also has a thin tip. You can do tricks like angling the marker, but if you want to draw lines that are 100 times thinner, well then, you need to switch pens and use a much smaller, fine-tipped pen. Likewise, to copy designs with dimensions only around 10 nanometers wide, we use 13 nanometer light, which is in the extreme ultraviolet light range of the electromagnetic spectrum. The more technical answer deals with the wave-like nature of light
the
and what
wavelengths.
happens when
That
light
makes
hits
sense.
these nanoscopic patterns inside the photomask.
That makes sense to me.
These
I
patterns
get
are
it.
made from nanoscopic EUV absorbing blockers.
So that's why
on
they
top
use
of a surface
ultraviolet
that
light,
reflects
because the frequency
EUV
is
light.
faster.
We'll explore the photomask and how the system uses
Because if you used
reflective
red
lenses
light,
a little
it
later
would
in
look
this
like
video.
a fucking blob.
But for now, instead of using reflective optics, it's easier to visualize the photomask as through beam optics in a setup similar to the well-known double slit experiment.
Right.
However, instead of the double slit, we're showing light passing through a complicated pattern of nanoscopic slits that represents a small portion of the overall photomask. So what happens when we use a wavelength
how
of
the
light
fuck do they make that
that's
mask?
substantially larger than the 13 nanometer EUV light, such as this 450 nanometer blue light?
It's going to be a blob.
When this large wavelength light hits the pattern is almost entirely lost.
Yeah.
This is due to the width of the holes in the pattern being substantially smaller than the wavelength of light hitting it.
Correct.
This limit to the resolving power of the lithography machine is described in Rayleigh's criterion equation, which we will explain later. So let's switch to 13 nanometer EUV light.
Right.
As the EUV light hits the pattern, the light passes through and the pattern of the photomask is imprinted into the light. And the light diffracts similar to the double slit experiment. This imprinted light then passes into the projection optics mirrored lenses, which are used to focus and scale down the pattern and project it onto the wafer. So now that we understand the need for EUV light, the next question is, how do we produce it? To start, two high-powered laser pulses run through multiple amplifiers below the clean room floor. These laser pulses grow in power and then travel from the subfab using a pathway of mirrors and up through the bottom of the tool and into a chamber called a source vessel.
Okay.
The first laser, called a pre-pulse, is around 5 kilowatts in power and is targeted at a droplet of tin using a set of actuated mirrors. This pre-pulse laser turns the tin droplets into a pancake-like shape. The second, approximately 25 kilowatt main laser pulse, which is more than 10 times stronger than the lasers used to cut steel, hits the tin pancake, instantly vaporizing it and turning it into glowing plasma. Within each of the tin atoms, some electrons are ejected and others are kicked up to higher energy states. When electrons drop back down from the 4F to 4D orbitals, 13 nanometer EUV light is produced.
What?
Shooting two laser pulses
Come on. Are you fucking kidding me? That's how you get fucking ultraviolet light? By fucking blasting lasers at tin? Yeah, that makes sense. What? Are you kidding me? Who fucking came up with this? Like, hey, I know how we can get ultraviolet light. Let's fucking shoot molten tin at a laser. And it'll just blast it to pieces and we'll get ultraviolet light.
Droplet of tin
makes sense to me.
Might seem like a rather obscure process.
Yeah,
However,
that seems ridiculous.
EUV light doesn't naturally occur on Earth, and it's one of the few ways to
See? Aliens. I knew it. Aliens. Doesn't naturally occur on Earth. This is fucking alien technology if I ever saw it.
efficiently produce over 500 watts of EUV light. Additionally, the reason for using tin is that its plasma produces a wide range of wavelengths with a clear peak at 13 nanometers. So, where does the tin droplet come from?
Yeah.
Well, over here, a solid ingot of ultra-pure tin is melted and fed into a storage tank and then piped towards a microscopic nozzle.
Got it.
A piezoelectric transducer squeezes the tip of the nozzle.
Got
and
it.
due to high
Piezoelectric transducer. Of course. Of course.
pressure nitrogen
Why didn't I think
inside
of
the
that?
storage tank, a droplet of tin is forced out at a speed of 100 meters a second. Next, high-speed cameras measure and calculate
this is the whole thing. Like the high-speed cameras. You gotta have 3 high-speed cameras because you gotta get the trajectory and the triangulation absolutely correct.
Trajectory of the droplet
To
and
hit it
feed
with a
the
fucking
data
laser.
to a set of actuated mirrors in order to
Come
angle the
on.
laser pulses
You
to
fucking kidding
precisely
me?
hit the tin.
Boom!
To control the amount of EUV light, sometimes droplets are skipped by the lasers.
So how about
and
that?
these droplets are
Now
captured
that's a sniper shot right there. You got 3 fucking spotting scopes just to
over
fucking
here.
snipe the tin.
This process of producing high-speed tin
Ka-chow!
droplets and then
Ka-chow!
shooting them with 2 laser pulses to generate EUV light happens at
Twice.
a rate of
Twice. They have to hit this shit twice. They shoot it with 2 lasers. 3 cameras, 2 lasers, just to get
50,000 times
fucking
a second.
ultraviolet light.
Now that we have EUV light,
Wait. Did he
with
just
2
say
laser pulses to generate EUV light happens at a rate of 50,000 times a second.
what? 50,000 times they do this per second? Dude. Aliens. Like, how you come up with that? You gotta do this 50,000 times per second, fucking 2 pinpoint sniper shots to produce just the light. Just the light. This is just for the light.
Now that we have EUV light, the first mirror called the collector
Now that we have the light.
focuses all the EUV light to a small hole called the intermediate focus, which only EUV light can pass through.
Of course.
The light next enters into the illuminator, which is composed of the field facet mirror, the pupil facet mirror, and another set of mirrors. These mirrors are so perfectly
Those mirrors don't have names?
shaped that there's less than an atom's deviation from the surface. The illuminator takes this EUV light and shapes it into a thin ribbon that has equal uniformity across a well-defined range of angles before it hits the photomask.
So you gotta like, hold on. What?
Less than an atom's deviation from the surface. The illuminator takes this EUV light and shapes it into a thin ribbon
the light.
that has equal uniformity across a
Shapes the light into a thin ribbon.
well-defined range of angles before it hits the photomask. Using an equal uniformity of light at all angles is critical to imprinting a perfect nanoscopic pattern from the mask via the light and onto the wafer.
That's just for the fucking light. That's just for the light that the thing uses. That's insane. And then they pinpoint snipe it twice. 2 sniper shots. Like 100,000 sniper shots per second, essentially.
I want to quickly share with you my go-to platform for brands just like us.
Like
we want
what?
to stay ahead of the trends. With more and more people using
100,000 sniper
ChatGPT and
shots
other
per
AI platforms, this
second.
magical
Just to
combination
get the
of
light.
Google search
Just
and
for the
asking
light.
questions like their
Be
best
quiet.
friend, we're now using similar
You're
web
talking over me. Be quiet. Like, she's...
We want to take a short...
What? Just the light. Just to get the light. Unbelievable.
Detour and mention that this has been a rather challenging video to make simply because there's a mountain of science and engineering inside these machines built by ASML, and this video only explores the tip of the iceberg. Essentially, a lot of the details had to be cut in order to keep this video a manageable length. For example, EUV light is incredibly difficult to work with because it's absorbed by atmospheric molecules.
Oh, of course it is.
And therefore the entire light path
The light path has to be vacuum sealed.
in wafer carrier stage is connected to vacuum pumps which
Correct.
remove all the air.
Oh my god. You gotta take out all the fucking air because now that we've mastered fucking getting all the tin fixed apart, right? We get the UV light. You got to make sure you suck all the air out, because air will destroy this fucking UV light that we just blasted tin into dust particles to get. What the fuck? Obviously. Right. See, this would be a lot easier to do in space, wouldn't it? There's no air.
Additionally,
Or underwater.
UV light is
Obviously. Obviously.
absorbed by glass.
This is how I would do it. Oh, the Dutch came up with this? Well, they wear wooden shoes, so that should tell you everything you need to know.
And practically all other materials, and therefore to focus and transport the light.
The Dutch kiss.
This system uses mirrors rather than transmissive lenses. However, these mirrors, called Bragg reflectors, are nothing like the mirrors in your bathroom.
They're not?
But rather, they're composed of dozens of alternating layers of silicon and molybdenum, each only
What the fuck is molybdenum? Say that 5 times fast. Molybdenum, molybdenum, molybdenum.
a few nanometers thick. When EUV light hits the surface of this Bragg reflector, only 3% is reflected at each boundary layer, while the rest passes through. But with so many layers, the cumulative 3% reflections add together using constructive interference, resulting in a total of 70% being reflected for a single mirror.
So they're just like losing light like no tomorrow. From blasting this tin, we went from 100% to 70%, and if the oxygen hits it, you may as well just fucking call it a day.
While 30% of the light is lost and absorbed. However, with more than 10 mirrors
Pretty
in the optical system, and only
Obviously,
70%
I could build one of these in my fucking garage.
reflection at each one, the final light hitting the wafer is less than 10% the brightness of the light emitted by the tin plasma.
What? So you only get 10% from blasting all this tin?
Which is why the initial light from the source vessel needs to be as bright as possible.
I bet. Yeah. I mean, he doesn't need to know how to make a CPU, but I think it's fascinating. Like, because CPUs power fucking everything. What? No, God. CPUs power everything we have, right?
Another example of the incredible engineering inside this machine is that this field facet mirror is assembled from hundreds.
Ka-chow ain't working for you. There it is. You got timed out.
Of independently controlled mirrors that can be.
No, I think it's got, that one might have a, I put a timeout on it so that you guys, or other trolls, I should say, wouldn't do ka-chow, 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 ka-chow. Because, like, if you don't put a timer on it, you could literally just sit here and it would be like ka-chow, 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 ka-chow. Yes, we are the trolls, exactly.
Be angled to direct the light onto specific regions of the segmented pupil facet mirror. Together, these two mirrors take the cone of the UV light facet mirror to assemble engineering inside this machine.
Okay,
is that this.
Hold on. Most people don't know you have commands. Some of them do. No, some of them do, and then once they know it or see someone else do it, then they know the command, and then they'll just start doing it over and over and over and over. Like the one kid was here, and like he kept hitting the forget one. Like he kept doing it, and I was like, yo, I had to tell him to chill out. I was like, yo, chill out with that, because like we're good. We already forgot. Like, you can stop now.
Field facet
Now, hold
mirror
on. This mirror
is assembled from hundreds of independently controlled mirrors.
Hold on. They're
Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
Wow. These mirrors are independently controlled.
Can be angled to direct the light onto specific regions of the segmented pupil facet mirror.
What?
Together, these two mirrors take the cone of EUV light from the intermediate focus and turn it into a complex pattern of illumination. For example, this is called annular illumination. Here's dipole illumination, and then here's quasar illumination.
What the fuck?
You're probably wondering why we require such complicated patterns of illumination.
Yes.
Well, when we look back at the microchip,
The fuck do you
one
need
layer
that
of
for?
wires is running
What the fuck?
mostly horizontally. The next layer is a set of cylinders called vias.
Okay.
And then the following layers have wires that run vertically.
Okay.
And each layer uses a different mask. Earlier we said that the EUV light is kind of like the tip of a fine-tipped pen.
I get it.
Having different patterns of illumination is like holding the marker at different angles with respect to the lines or circles that are being patterned. Specifically, annular illumination is best used to pattern the layers containing vias, and is like holding the marker straight up and down. Whereas dipole illumination, like this, is best used to pattern lines running horizontally. And then we rotate the dipole illumination for patterning the vertically oriented wires. Imagine being at the
And all this is fucking happening at like 1,000 times per second.
forefront of this groundbreaking science and engineering.
Who the
Then
fuck?
picture ASML, whose work powers the innovations that solve
My brain hurts. What is it? That's why I said listening and not watching. Yeah. Yeah.
some of
I find it interesting. I don't know. Like, and maybe I'm too nerdy, but like I understand some of this stuff, but it's just like some of it is like that mirror, like just the mirror from blasting the tin to get UV light. Like the mirror can move. What? The mirror, all the little mirrors, they're like. Oh, you guys like the Are They Cheating segment?
an energy.
I saw a couple of them. I started calling him out, dude, too. He is most likely cheating. That's the most likely. They are cheating. Most likely cheating. No, I started calling people out on it on TikTok. I just go, triggerbot? Question mark. And like you can visibly see their face change. The one person I did it to the other day, like was like their face kind of like went blank, like they seen a ghost. Their like face went white. It was just like triggerbot? Question mark. Because it was clear as day. She's like fucking coming around the corners and just shotgun. Boom, 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 boom. Every single time. I'm like, I'm fast, but I'm not that accurate. I'm fast. Like, I can shoot my shotgun as soon as I see somebody, but it's not going right at their head. Yeah. I'll do it again, for sure. Yeah, absolutely. But I got to do it on my Fortnite channel. I'm not going to do it on the tech channel. Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Even if I do the headshot, for sure. With the fucking Sentinel, thank God they vaulted that, finally. The Sentinel's a piece of junk. I miss the Gatekeeper. That Gatekeeper was... You only get 3 shots. That's all you need. I only need 1. No. Anyway.
Mobility
this
and
stuff
healthcare.
fascinates
ASML is a
me.
leader in photos and enabling the talented individual R&D and manufacturing work.
You're just talking about.
In the U.S., it's an exceptional environment where cutting-edge technology comes to life.
Oh, there's the real.
To keep pushing the exceptional environment where cutting-edge technology comes to life. To keep pushing the boundaries of what's possible, ASML seeks exceptional talent. They're looking
hiring.
for science.
That's what he's saying. Oh, wait, there's a new SMG? I don't even know if I picked that up. I've been using the dualies. They had 2 dualies. Dually SMGs and then dually shotguns. I like those. There's a new shotgun. I've tried that a little bit. What else did I use? The AR and the sniper. That's about it. I don't know. I didn't play too much, but I'll have to get back on
and
it.
engineers ready to design the next-gen lithography systems, technicians and logistics experts eager to build, ship, and support these groundbreaking systems,
Here you go,
and
guys.
software
They're hiring.
developers passionate about working in a world of nanometers. ASML
In a world of nanometers.
together
Nerd alert.
with their soaring tech more
Okay.
is
All
the
right.
line of the mass part of the journey. Visit their ASML today. Let's move on to the next part of this EUV
I was trying to move
lithography
on.
tool and explore the photomask or mask,
Okay,
which is
how do you
also
make the
called
mask?
a reticle,
Yes,
and
the
contains
reticle.
the
How the
entire
do you
design
make
of a
that?
single layer of a microchip.
I get it.
The mask starts in a doubly sealed pod and is loaded onto the machine using an overhead transport system.
Doubly sealed.
The outer protective carrier is opened, and a robotic arm picks up the inner pod and carries it to a vacuum load lock. The chamber is sealed and pumped down to a vacuum, and the inner door opens. Next, the inner pod opens up and a separate robotic arm carries the mask and base to an inspection station. Each mask has a half a dozen different marks, including a barcode, as well as fiducials, which are designs used to align the mask with sub-nanometer level accuracy.
Right, correct.
The mask is carried over to and loaded onto the reticle stage.
I got it.
Which moves back and forth across the EUV beam with incredible accuracy.
Wow.
And at high speeds with more than 7 Gs of acceleration.
Holy
This
shit.
mask's surface
Fuck. 7 Gs? You do fucking 7 Gs with the reticle?
is built from the same Bragg reflector surface mentioned earlier, but with a pattern of absorbers on top that locally blocks the light in order to create the detailed microchip layer pattern. This 6 by 6 inch mask has a pattern area of 104 by 132 millimeters and an absorber pixel resolution of below 10 by 10 nanometers.
Holy shit.
In the beginning of this video, we showed a variety of different chips with different sizes, and shortly after, we showed a GPU being patterned across the wafer. The pattern on the mask is 4 times larger than the microchip, and this GPU chip is close to the maximum size chip that can fit on the mask, and therefore only 1 copy fits, resulting in 90 GPU chips fitting onto a 300 millimeter wafer. However, CPU chips are typically smaller, and therefore, in the following example, we can fit 2 copies on the mask and a total of 185 chips on the wafer. When we look at even smaller DRAM chips, 12 copies can fit on the mask, yielding 978 chips on the wafer. Technically, the exposure field is 1 scan of the mask onto the wafer, and an exposure field can have anywhere from 1 to a dozen or more die patterns on it, yielding around 100 to 1,000 or more chips on a single wafer. This mask contains an incredible amount of information, and as mentioned in the intro, it has the equivalent amount of detail as all the text of Wikipedia plus all the books in an average public library. This mask, which can cost around $300,000, must be so perfect that, using our analogy, there can't be a single grammatical error, spelling mistake, or even an extra curve on a letter across 21 million pages of text.
Oh my God.
Otherwise,
it's got to be absolutely perfect.
It would damage every chip on the wafer.
Every single chip would be fucked up.
Also, if you're curious, here are the calculations we used for the transistors to text and book conversions. Pause the video to work it out.
No, that's okay.
The next topics we'll explore are the projection optics and how the wafer is moved around the machine. But first, we'd like to mention that this video topic is incredibly complicated and took hundreds of hours to research, write, model, animate, and edit.
Yes, totaling. And now you're gonna go, hey, please like, comment, subscribe, Patreon.
Composed of a series of mirrors that are used to project and focus the patterned EUV light onto the wafer with extremely high accuracy, while minimizing wavefront aberrations and shrinking the image by a factor of 4. These mirrors are designed and manufactured by Zeiss, who is a long-standing partner of ASML and has been a vital collaborator in the development of the optic systems inside photolithography tools. To understand the projection optics, we have to discuss what determines exactly how small these wires can be. And for this, Rayleigh's criterion equation is used.
Of course.
This equation states that the smallest dimension, or critical dimension, is equal to K1 times the wavelength of light, or lambda, divided by the numerical aperture, or NA. The wavelength of EUV light...
Did you guys get all that?
...is 13 nanometers. K1 is the process factor, which relates to the various illumination settings created by the field and pupil facet mirrors that we discussed earlier.
We did.
Along with the photoresist and other
you writing this down?
Factors,
Good.
and is close to 0.3 for this machine. Finally, numerical aperture, or NA, is a measure of the angle and amount of light the mirrors in the projection optics can capture and focus onto the wafer. Numerical aperture isn't just about increasing the brightness of the EUV light, but rather it's more of a measure of the angles and amount of constructive interference wave paths that hit the mask and then are projected onto the wafer. In short, with a larger numerical aperture, or NA, which corresponds to a larger angle between the projection mirrors and focal point, we can achieve a smaller resolution. This tool has a numerical aperture of 0.33. However, the next generation of EUV lithography systems, called High NA, increases this to 0.55, resulting in an 8 nanometer critical dimension. Increasing the numerical aperture to 0.55 requires significantly larger mirrors, which results in a redesign of the entire optic system and other parts of the machine, thus considerably increasing the size and cost of the system.
Why waste another summer not loving your body?
With Base 44, we turned that question into a successful business.
A woman has an average of 80 summers in her life.
Okay. That's enough.
We could spend an entire video discussing the next generation High NA tool, but instead, let's move on to discuss the wafer transport system and wafer stage, and see how a wafer makes its way to the EUV exposure station. Let's start with a wafer that's carried in a FOUP on the overhead transport system.
The FOUP!
This FOUP lands on the lithography cluster,
Drop it like
which
it's
is
FOUP.
a combination of a wafer track tool and a lithography tool.
Who knows?
The wafer first enters the track tool where a layer of photoresist, or resist for short, is evenly spread across the wafer.
Yep.
The wafer moves to another area inside the track tool where it's heated in order to dry and solidify the resist.
We're baking it.
Next, using robotic arms, the wafer is carried from the track tool into a vacuum load lock inside the EUV tool.
Okay.
The pneumatically actuated
And now you're going to vacuum.
close, and the chamber is pumped down to a vacuum.
Pump it out.
Next, the back doors of the load lock open up, and a different robotic arm carries the wafer to one of the wafer stages.
Okay.
This system is called a twin scan because there are two complete wafer stages that can concurrently move two wafers around.
All right.
The key idea is that while one wafer is actively being patterned, a second wafer is being loaded onto the wafer stage
through the
and
back
measured
door
under an alignment sensor. Nanometer level accuracy is crucial with these machines, and one key philosophy of ASML is meten is weten, which is Dutch for to measure something is to know something.
Exactly.
The reason for acquiring this level of perfection is that when we look at the nanoscopic
Meten is weten. Oh, there it is.
Of the microchip, which has wires and holes that are only 10 to 20 nanometers wide, if one layer is more than a couple nanometers off the previous layer, then the electrical connections won't conduct electricity correctly.
Exactly. Exactly.
And if an entire layer is off, then every single chip will be catastrophically destroyed.
Damn.
To make sure that the
ass and titties.
Layer being patterned is perfectly aligned with the previous layer, the entire wafer is thoroughly measured by the alignment sensor. On the wafer are hundreds of alignment marks, which are reference patterns that assist in determining the exact position of the earlier layers of patterns. The alignment sensor meticulously measures the X and Y positions of every alignment mark on the wafer and builds a highly accurate 2D map from the results. This map shows some regions of the wafer being biased in one direction by a few to dozens of nanometers, and another region being biased in a different direction. Additionally, the leveling sensor uses grazing incident light to measure the exact height of the wafer and builds a topological map of the wafer, which is critical for later bringing the wafer stage to the position such that the EUV light is perfectly focused onto the wafer. Now that we've measured and built the exact alignment and height map for the wafer stage next moves to the EUV exposure station. As the wafer is being patterned, the wafer stage moves in perfect synchrony with the reticle stage, but only a quarter of the distance due to the 4:1 reduction. At the same time, the stage makes nanoscale adjustments using the alignment map so that the new layer perfectly aligns with the previous layer. When the wafer stage moves from one exposure field to the next, it's important that no EUV light hits the wafer, and thus a shutter positioned up here near the reticle stage closes. Once the wafer stage is positioned to pattern the next microchip, the shutter opens and the wafer stage and reticle stage move in perfect synchrony again. This process repeats until the entire wafer is patterned, taking around 18 seconds in total. So then, what actually happens as EUV light hits the photoresist? Well, resist is a polymer mixed with a photoacid generator. When high-energy EUV photons hit the resist, the light ionizes it, releasing high-energy electrons. These electrons then hit the photoacid generator, producing an acid that breaks apart the polymer, making it weaker. As a result, the areas hit by the EUV light become soluble and are washed away by a developing liquid in the subsequent process step. One detail is that the resist has an extremely high contrast, meaning that at a certain level of EUV light, the entirety of the resist hit by that light is broken down. This is critical in producing sharp patterns and walls on the resist. Let's next explore how the wafer and wafer stage move around. Specifically, the wafer stages levitate on a large magnetic table composed of more than 1,000.
Of course they do. What the fuck? They're floating. In case you were wondering, how do they move around? They're floating on magnets. Just in case you were wondering.
Electromagnets on the underside of the wafer stage move it along this magnetic table both quickly and with micrometer level accuracy, while interferometers
So zero friction. Yeah.
on the top of the stage measure its exact position, and this setup is called the long stroke stage.
Oh,
in order to secure the wafer, it's placed on a plate, which is technically called an electrostatic clamp.
All right.
The clamp
More
cycles
magnets.
zones of high voltage across the backside of the wafer to keep it in place, a phenomenon similar to sticking a balloon to a wall using static electricity. To reach nanometer level accuracy, the plate is independently moved using smaller motors, which is called the short stroke stage. By combining the long stroke and short stroke stages along with measurement encoders, the machine can quickly move the wafer as it's being patterned and maintain an accuracy of less than 1 nanometer, or approximately 4 silicon atoms. Once all the microchip patterns are copied to the wafer, the stage moves back towards the robotic arms where the wafer is unloaded and placed into one of the vacuum load locks, pumped back to atmosphere, and then a separate robotic arm brings the wafer back to the track tool where the patterned and modified resist is washed away using a developing liquid. Finally, the wafer is heated again to further harden the remaining resist. The patterned wafer is then loaded back into the FOUP, which is picked up and brought to a different tool to undergo processing in other ways.
Next.
Let's close this tool. And that's it for our journey into photolithography.
Jesus.
If you have any questions,
I have lots of questions.
Feel free to ask them in the comments below. We're thankful to all.
I have lots of questions, mostly dealing with aliens and which species of alien gave us this technology. That's what I want to know. Any guesses? It's probably not the reptilians. They hate us. It wasn't the Greys. I thought the well, it's definitely not the reptilians. But I thought the Greys were cool with us. The Greys are not cool with us.
All our Patreon and YouTube membership sponsors for
of
supporting our videos.
But
if you want to financially support
my brain
our
hurts.
work,
So
you can find the links.
That's all I know. Yeah, it might have been the Greys. I don't know, guys, but that was cool. Holy crap. Okay, so this one came out 3 months ago. 1.3 million views. Definitely give these guys a subscription. Like these videos are very, very educational. Ansel Adams. Yes? Ansel Adams? Maybe? Perhaps? Perhaps? He was a photographer, but I don't think he came up with microchips. But guys, yeah, this is branch education. If you want to watch more of these videos like this, hit them up. Give them a like, give them a follow, subscribe, hit the bell, whatever, comment, ask them which Dutch professor was abducted by aliens and given this technology. Because, wow, my brain hurts just taking all this in. But very cool process. Very, very cool process. Unbelievable process. Let's see what else I got. I got DRAM. DRAM, CPU logic. How does CGI work? Well, that could be an interesting one. Oh, video game graphics. Ooh. That one might be fun to watch. That was a year ago? Jesus. Hold on, let me check their videos. So the CPUs, how do CPUs work? Okay, did we watch that one? I think that's the one we watched, yeah? No, we watched this one, how are microchips made? Then this one is, how do CPUs work? Got it, okay. A lot of cool videos on here. How do GPUs work? Oh, okay. So that one was a year ago. This one was 3 months ago. That's cool. Ooh, inside a hard drive. These are cool videos. Definitely want to watch a couple more of these. Ooh, the engineering inside SSDs. Might be fun to watch. How do SSDs work? They got 2 of those. 5 years ago? For real? Where have I been? Where have I been? Yeah, very cool stuff. So give them a follow. Give them a shout out. Tell them Bad Spade sent you. Well, Sam Spade. This is Sam Spade Tech. Let's see. My fucking brain hurts, guys. I might have to take a break after that. That was a lot. That was a lot to take in. Let's check eBay. I was waiting on, because I sold that laptop, but like the guy didn't pay for it yet. So I just want to check on that. Active. Yeah, he still hasn't paid for it. Where do I see my offers? That's bid offers. Draft, scheduled, unsold. Orders, is it? So, payment. Unsold. Orders. Ah! Come on. Active. So yeah, somebody sent an offer. Come on, eBay. Where the hell? Change offer settings. Oh, here, manage offers. Yeah, so somebody did offer me 30 bucks for it. I accepted it, but I guess, and I didn't know this, if you have multiple offers, you can accept all of the offers, and then the first person to actually pay for it gets the item. I didn't know that, but that I just read that yesterday. So let's see here. So I guess I can't mess with this one, because if he does accept the offer or pay for it, which he has, okay, awaiting offer expires in 3 days and 3 hours, which that kind of sucks, but because I can't make any changes to it until he purchases it, because I can't put another hard drive in it and then be like, hey, you know, I changed the hard drive, I increased the storage for you. You probably, I mean, they might like it, but they might not. So I have to sell it as is. But yeah, it's crazy. All the CPUs and stuff. And I'm just selling it for 30 bucks, even though, you know, the actual die CPU silicon wafer chip, the whole platter costs like what, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And now, you know, they lose their value fairly quickly. But again, it's not the chip, right? The chip would still be useful. It's what it's inside of, right? So these ones, especially laptops, because they're soldered to the board, but older chips in like old workstations, they can take those out and move them around and put them in new machines that have better specs, you know. But laptops, you're kind of limited. You can only do so much to keep them around, you know. Like a lot of these HPs that I'm getting, the batteries are bad, which sucks. But is what it is. Yeah, I didn't realize this one was going to be so popular. It's in 2 people's carts. It's got like 9 people watching it. I accepted 1 offer already, so I ended up increasing the price on it. But All right. I guess that's about it, guys. I don't know what the hell else to do. I could work on the other computer, but I don't know what time Cooper's going to get up. So, hang on. Give me 1 second. All right, guys, we're back. So I'll probably just sign off for now, guys. Hey, Julio, thank you for being here, and thank you for all the information and knowledge about CPUs. That's really interesting stuff. So a lot of really cool, interesting stuff. I know. All the knowledge that we just absorbed, my brain hurts. I think I'm going to sign off for now, unless you got something else you want to discuss. I'm going to sign off because my brain hurts. But they have a lot of cool, interesting videos. I'd like to watch this one, I think. How video game graphics work would be, that's an interesting one. And then also how ray tracing in video games. They got a lot of interesting videos. Pardon me. But Gabby Morrow, thank you for being here. Cat Spade, thank you for being here. Mr. Nasty, who else was here? Mr. Nasty, Azaria, thank you for being here. Radam was here. He stopped in for a little bit. And Master Hip over on YouTube, thank you for being here. Who else? I think that was it. Oh, absolutely. And we love having you here. So that's why I say thank you. I always like to say thank you. It shows my appreciation to everybody that did tune in. Thank you for all the comments and the likes and the subscribes and all that stuff. It's all good stuff. So, hey, Gabby Morrow, what do you think of the new logo? Oh.
I got 99 problems, but the glitch ain't one.
Thank you, Mr. Gates. Well, I hope you feel better, Azaria. Bruh. Mr. Gates. I hope you feel better, Azaria. I'm praying for you. We're praying for you. Yeah. And, and I don't know from experience, but check out some of those videos on the fasting. I know you're going through it, but there's some interesting stories out there from people. And actually, Kat's grandfather, he had what kind of cancer did he have?
It was like gallbladder cancer.
It was like gallbladder cancer, she said, and he beat it with a juice cleanse. Yeah. Like they went in to operate, and the tumor was just like gone. So it wasn't a fast per se, but it's kind of a fast because you're like cutting off all of the stuff you normally eat, and you're just putting in like healthy, like natural juices. Like it was a highly organic. Yeah, go ahead.
My grandpa fasted and did a juice cleanse, which I don't know if I recommend a juice cleanse, just because that's a lot of sugar and too much sugar without the fiber that's in the fruit is not good for you, because then it's just sugar. You need the fiber and the sugar. Anyways, but my grandpa also went to go see a healer. So whenever they went to go do the surgery, he actually did the surgery. So they opened him up or whatever, and there was only scar tissue left.
Yeah, the cancer just
disappeared. Yeah.
And that's what I was saying. Like, that's what happens during the fasting process as well. Your body just starts to attack any nasty cells that are in there.
Yeah, but it takes like 40 days for your body to reset.
To do a full fast, for your body to fully destroy everything, it's like 40 days. So just, food for thought, right? Just food for thought. No pun intended, but keep fighting. Look into it. Like, there's natural holistic remedies for a lot of things out there, and they keep this stuff secret for reasons that we're not privy to. But anyway, I love you guys. You're awesome. Thank you for being here and kind of geeking out with me on microchips and whatnot. I don't know if we got any good clips, but maybe we got some good clips out of it. Mostly of me just going, what the kind of technology? You're telling me that you shoot lasers at tin just to get UV light? Wild stuff, guys. But hey, we love you, and we'll see you probably, I'm thinking either Friday. I'll be here Friday, and then Saturday. So Friday, Saturday, maybe like Wednesday, Friday I do the tech, and then Saturday maybe some Fortnite. I don't know. We'll think about it. We'll see what happens. I will be on Fortnite, so if anybody wants to play, we're sending you healing vibes for sure. But if anybody wants to play and I'm on, like, I probably won't be streaming, but I'll be on Fortnite off and on, or some, no, I probably won't be playing Rocket League that much, but, anyway, love you guys, and we will see you, on Friday. And Friday, I think I'm going to tear into that other laptop, so wish me luck. I'm going to dismantle the thing and upgrade some RAM. And then possibly, if this guy doesn't pay for the other laptop, I'll tear into that one and put Windows on it. So anyway, we will see you on Friday.